Jean-Michel Victor here with my man Carl Isaacs, the one and only Stompy.
How got you?
Bro, it goes back fucking years. So, welcome, my man, to the first podcast, first episode. I'm quite excited.
I'm excited to be the first one.
Yes, the first one, eh? And we guys, the background check about Carl. So, Carl and I went to school together. We grew up together. We got pissed together. We've failed together. We've become successful together. We've followed one another for many years and stayed in touch over the years. So, I've got Carl on here to tell his story about family business and what happened during the course of his life, how his dad's business went down, unfortunately, and how Carl is now coping through life, doing the best he can do as an individual and keep his mindset focused and while looking after his family at the same time. So, Carl, welcome, bro.
Thanks. Good to be here.
Welcome, man. Tell us about yourself. Quick little demo, little history.
I lived a very privileged life due to how my dad actually worked and how hard he worked.
Yes.
So growing up in Durbanville, went to large school, Durbanville, and then to Fairmont, played rugby, club rugby, all of those kinds of things. Basically, then just went to varsity, and while in varsity I worked for my dad, studied business, and the whole plan was for me and my brother to run the factory and me to be basically in the office.
It'll be the second generation, eh? The second generation, yeah.
Just happened that during that course I got a different idea of things.
Yes.
Basically, I saw my family at home, saw them at work. Then me and my dad weren't getting along anymore, and it's basically just thought I need to get the hell out. And I became a financial advisor instead. During that time.
But you worked at the factory for a while.
Yeah, I worked there for about 6-7 years.
Yes.
From the age of about 16.
I remember that time.
On weekends, basically, I would go play rugby and then go to the factory after work.
Yes.
And mix material, operate machines. Lord doesn't have to know about that.
Yeah.
But that's what I used to do, and that's how my dad used to give me spending money.
Yeah.
If ever I wanted to do something, then he would say, come to the factory, do something, and then I'll gladly give you money.
It's like old school mentality.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's also, it builds a work ethic as well.
Correct.
Early.
I can agree with you there. When I started working at 16. Also, that work ethic, it's different when you start working at 16 versus when you go high school,
University,
and then work. So you know your experience is slightly different.
Yeah.
You know, you've got the education, you've got the paperwork. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, don't get me wrong. I wish I wasn't going to study after school. We're getting a lot more advantages now. You don't think that when you yeah. So yeah, and then I know the business actually got to a point where your dad had to make some serious decisions due to, I know you got an illness, eh?
Yeah. So basically my dad had Guillain-Barré syndrome.
So explain to us what that is.
So it's basically when your immune system attacks your muscles and nerves. So it breaks down your whole body. Can't walk, can't talk, can't eat. Basically your heart stops pumping, you can't breathe on your own, all those kinds of things. So you end up being hooked on all kinds of machines to keep your body going. But it does take time, but it's one of the things that you can recover from.
Would you say it's from high stress?
Yeah, high stress, massively high stress. So when he got that was the year when the business was doing insanely bad. Like it was,
yes.
The business the business couldn't have been running any worse. Machines were breaking down, and it was just a lot was happening all in one go.
When it goes wrong.
Everything was happening, and he had flu, kept working through it.
It's old school, eh?
Oh yeah, no, he's he's old school and stubborn about everything. You can't tell him anything. But yeah, I just remember I was sleeping, I think I was like on a Wednesday or a Thursday, sleeping. Next minute my dad woke me up with a cigarette in his mouth saying, come, I need to go to the hospital quick. I was like, oh, okay. But it's like literally like me and you talking.
Yeah.
He was just like, I need to go to the hospital quick. So I was like, oh, okay.
It's almost like he knows.
Yeah. And took him to the hospital and we were waiting. They took his blood pressure. They were like, what the hell? Took his sugar. What the hell's going on here? Everything was through the roof. So they held him, and it just wasn't going down. And the next minute, he couldn't walk. Next minute, his arms couldn't move, his one arm couldn't move. Then it looked like he had a stroke at one stage, and that was literally just his body breaking down.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a very interesting time. It was a learning experience, a very fast learning experience.
You grew up quick.
Yeah. And in that time, I was working at Liberty, and my boss there, his name's Mone Fenter, I'll go to war for that guy. But he basically pulled me aside one day, and he was like, what's going on? So I just gave him the whole story of what was happening. And he said, he's like, if it takes you 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, go. Family is the most important thing. Your job will be here when you're ready.
Yes.
And I was like, holy shit. Okay. And I went every day, factory, early in the morning till late at night, basically just trying to make ends meet. So literally this customer would pay us, and then I would pay a supplier. And then this customer pays, and I'm like, and literally all I was doing was moving money around.
You just
trying to keep it going.
Overheads.
And
Overheads and staff.
me, my mom, my brother, there's a woman that my dad basically knew as long as my mother that was the secretary there.
Yes.
We were able to keep it going. We kept it going until my dad recovered and he came back.
You say that's mindset. So put it in a way that
I wouldn't say it's mindset. I don't think that is mindset. That is just
survival.
Yeah, survival. Just doing what needs to be
You
done.
know it has to be. If it doesn't get done,
If it doesn't get done, you know.
it's over.
Yeah. And that is what it was about. That was survival then.
A lot of stress for a 20-year-old, though.
Oh yeah. I enjoyed it though.
High pressure.
That was where I learned a lot about myself. Because I found that I actually enjoy pressure. I
Almost
enjoy
like-
that kind of pressure.
Being put into an uncomfortable position. And now you've got to defend yourself. There's no one to rely on.
Yeah.
Because the guy you rely on isn't there.
Yeah. And it's also where you learn about people as well.
Yeah.
Very quickly you learn about people. So basically there were people that I thought during that time, because it was quite a crazy time.
Yes.
Especially mentally, it was a crazy
Yeah,
time.
and
And the people that I thought would be there weren't. And people that random, like who I didn't even know that long, would rock up at my house and be like, come, we're going. We're like, nah, I don't. We're like, no, I'm not asking you.
I'm telling you.
Come.
Because you need this now.
Yeah. And that is someone who I call my brother these days. And he's a fucking boertjie.
Yeah. You know, that's...
I don't know. I've had a lot of good run-ins with people, random people.
It's amazing what the energy brings. Sorry, this thing.
Yeah.
Just died.
I don't know. I'm not a person that sees color in a way, but it's something stupid.
No,
I think
no.
that is a stupid saying. You don't see color, but it's more the character.
Correct. I'm exactly the same. I honestly don't care who, whatever, male, female, whatever. I respect you as a human. If you've got a good character,
Yeah,
and you're going to support me,
exactly.
I've got your back.
Exactly.
Cool.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. But also, like during that time, and the reason why I think highly of Mone as well. I only knew him that time for maybe a year. I think I was working there for a year or two. I think it was just over a year. And that guy had my back the whole time.
You saw something.
And that's why even today he started Rico Mobile.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, what you need me to do? It's not, you don't pay me. I'm like, what? Just say what you needed.
Get it done.
It's sorted.
So when in the business you actually started seeing it going down, where you knew the boat, you're not going to be able
You could see.
this like
You could
the
see the
point
boat.
where
Basically, it was that year. That year was just a bad year. So someone that you also know, David,
yes,
he helped my dad a lot as well. So he would come to the factory and wild things and
Yes.
all of that. And he's like, you need to shut this place down. While you can, just close it down.
you know,
Sell everything.
I've got to respect him for that, because in my opinion, a true friend We'll be fucking bluntly honest.
Yeah. And he was.
And we would say like, dude, you got a sinking ship. If you don't bail now,
It's gonna
it's
get
gonna
10
be
times
worse.
worse.
We other guys go, no, it's fine, push through, it's
Yeah.
okay. Or they won't tell you direct, they'll tell everyone else. Well, the guy's not gonna make it. So, you know, and that's I don't like that. Tell me
Yeah.
straightforward.
Exactly. That's what
And
what I like about the people that I have around me now.
Yeah.
They
Honestly,
very
bro.
much, they don't have time for BS.
No, there isn't. We grown-ups.
If they don't like something that you've done, they tell you straight to your
and
face.
that's exactly what you need.
It's
Exactly. So, you know, so your dad, obviously with this whole process, got ill, got sick, and things just started going down.
Yeah.
Did you eventually sell or
No.
lose or?
So basically, during that time while he was in hospital,
Yes.
clients started leaving. They came, picked their molds up and left. That was happening, one after the next client. And we had massive, massive clients from government to
Yes.
big companies were leaving. And basically I was just trying to hold on to the ones that were.
Yes.
And in a way, that was a little bit of a blessing as well, because there was one client. Basically, we ran production for them, and this was like in the last part of where everything was about to just come crashing down. And he came to the factory, and my dad wasn't there that time yet. And we spoke, and he's like, listen, yeah, I'm not going to pay you guys, because if I pay you, it's going to go to whatever.
Yes.
I mean, I'll keep hold of this money. I can already see what's going
Shit's
to
going
happen.
down, yeah.
He's like, I'm going to keep this money. Once this liquidation is done, call me. And I thought, oh, okay. And I told him, this is my dad. And I didn't tell my dad immediately.
Yes.
Came out of hospital, blah, blah, blah. And one of the big material suppliers liquidated my dad. And my dad just went, fuck this. And sold everything. Sold the house, sold the cars, got rid of everything.
It was a nice house.
Yeah.
I
Well, to
remember.
think about it, my dad, he bought it in 99. He paid, I think it was just under 300,000 for it. And he sold it
My
for...
car costs more than that. I don't need to. I'm just thinking to myself now. Literally, it's crazy. It's you don't even. Everything's gone up.
Yeah.
Inflation and how quick.
And when he sold it for over 3 million.
And that all went through to pay debts.
Basically, yeah. So basically, he paid the utilities of the house, paid the utilities of the factory. So with the factory owed the city, I think the electricity that we owed them was like over
I
300,000.
can believe that easy. I
Because
can
basically,
believe that,
in that time,
especially running.
yeah, in
machinery.
that time, our electricity bill a month was about 60, 70, 80. At its highest point, it got to 100,000.
A month.
Yeah. So
So if you're losing clients,
it's a big number.
that's quick. You lose
Let's-
5 clients.
Let's put it like this. We had a big machine, a 1,200 ton machine. We literally worked out that if that machine alone ran for 3 months, I think it was 3 or 4 months, it covers the electricity for the year.
That's
so-
if it runs 3 to 4 months.
So the machines, they make a lot of money, but they cost a lot to run. And everything that goes with it costs a lot. So the material prices that we use basically is based on the petroleum price.
And what did you guys do? You guys did?
Plastic injection molding.
Basically, yeah.
So basically we made from fish grates, chicken grates, your 2-step ladder
Yes,
things.
yes.
We made that splash pools. We made ice buckets. We made components for bombs for Denal. We were making vacuum cleaners for Panas or Aqualux, whatever they call. Eurolux, whatever they call it,
Okay.
but they Panasonic basically.
Okay.
Them and Panasonic got together. We used to make TVs for Panasonic, and then that stopped when it came to the flat screen.
Yes.
Then it was a
So
waste.
you had a good run, eh?
Oh yeah, my dad was massively successful. Massively successful. You don't understand, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We had 7 machines. We only had 7 machines. From a 75 ton up to a 1,200 ton. Our 350 would make round about 200,000 a month.
How many years did you have the business?
11 or 12 years.
So it's like you build up this business for 11 to 12 years,
Yeah.
but it takes 1 year to just make it go away.
Yeah. But also, like the place where my dad worked before,
Yes.
him and a woman were running that place. The owner of it just left. He decided, he literally, I think that was in the 90s. He told my dad, he's done. As long as he doesn't have to use his own money, do with it what you must.
Oh, that actually helps.
No, this guy was good to my dad, but my dad did a lot.
Exactly. So obviously.
So that guy knew my dad would work
equally
Christmas.
exchange.
Yeah, my dad would work Christmas. He would work New Year's. He would
Gave
work
up a lot,
holidays. Yeah, he gave up a massive amount. But also, like, I think my dad enjoys it. He
Yes.
enjoys being in that environment. Why would he go back into it now again to try and start again?
How old is he now?
He turned 60 on 2 weeks time. He turned 60.
And how's life now that since the business and everything's been sold and debts paid and you guys are staying in Bellville now, man?
Oakland.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the impact to you? So, for example, come from this huge house, nice area. I'm not saying Bellville's a bad area.
No.
Don't get me wrong.
I
I live in Vasco, so Goodwood. We have the dogs park. It's operate.
No, it's
Is life different now for you?
very, very
Financially, emotionally.
Everything is a lot different, and I've learned to appreciate things a lot more.
Because
So-
you're independent now, aren't you?
Yeah. So basically, when it came down to it, living in Durban. So yes, my dad had this thing of whatever you wanted, you come to the factory, you work, I'll
Yes.
give you money. So for my 18th birthday, I wanted a car. So my dad says, cool, come to the factory, work, I'm not gonna pay you in cash, but for your 18th, then you get the car. And that's what I got, and that's how I got my GTI. My 18th birthday, me and my dad went to Tableview. Bought it, came back, and I was happy as hell. But I was also, I don't know, I think that during that time I was entitled as hell. I was entitled as hell. I expected
Because to work, how many months did you work in the factory?
Oh, it was basically every weekend.
For how long?
And well, I did it from the age of 16.
So 2 years.
Yeah.
And you get a GTI.
Yeah. But that's how it was. Though. That's how it was.
No, I'm laughing. Because I remember I worked 2 years and I couldn't even afford a Ford Fiesta. Even when I saved numbers.
But you even know my dad, because my dad used to go.
No, I remember. Yeah, the guy didn't play. He didn't play.
Oh, that guy would drop $2,000 a night like it was.
No, I know.
Like it was.
But it's amazing how it's different now.
Yeah.
So you can't do that.
No.
And where are all those people when he was dropping that kind of cash? Where are they now? Has anyone come to visit him? Who's old friends and businessmen now that he's been ill?
No. No. The only ones that have is where he is now. The people, like the where his
Yes.
machines are now. So this, when we had our factory, my dad helped these guys, his brothers,
Yes.
to set up their factory.
Mm-hmm.
And then when things went down, they basically just told my dad, when you start up again, give us a call. Dad said, cool. And he started up in Blackie
Okay.
with another guy there. Called them and they brought the molds there to him. And he started running and it was going lekker again. Like for 2 years it went lekker there. He was making money again, everything. Stress was still there, but it wasn't
As much.
as much. And my old dad started coming out again, which
Yes.
was a bit scary because you met him already. Like
He's hardcore.
when he goes pub hopping,
No, he's.
there's no ending to it.
No.
So he started doing that again, where he could drink a bottle of brandy like it was nothing.
But the old school guys are like that.
Yeah,
That's all or
and they're
nothing.
very stubborn.
Very. I know my wife tells me that a lot. Like the mentality.
Yeah,
It's all or nothing.
Yeah.
We're not going to die.
exactly.
And I don't see that in today's guys in their 25s
No.
and up. I don't see that.
No, not at all.
I see comfortability.
Mm-hmm.
I see
And things must just be done.
correct.
They expect things.
The only times they take risks is when mommy or daddy or someone will offer them money. They don't take risks or start something from nothing.
From nothing. But
I-
even doing that is scary.
Yeah. Ask me, I know.
No, it is.
So yeah, and it's not always about. See, when you start nothing from nothing, it's about the time you put in,
Yeah.
not the money you put in. You know, because you have to generate from the time to generate funds.
Yeah.
Not the other way.
Money's a byproduct.
Yes.
So the thing is, if you're always going to chase after money, it's never going to be enough.
Like Bob Marley says.
But it's true.
That is true.
It's
You
true.
know this. You've had it all.
Yeah. It's something that you don't learn that until something
You actually have fuck
goes
all.
down and you have
Nothing.
nothing.
I
You
can.
maxed out the credit card, you maxed out your overdraft, you
I
applied
get
for
goosebumps because I
loans.
can fucking relate, bro. That's
Yeah,
what.
and that's literally during that whole time. That's what I did. I
Yeah.
maxed everything out.
And you know what the funny thing is? You max it out not for fun, to survive.
Yeah. That is something like
And then the stress just goes even.
yeah, and it's something
And-
that is not you are not in control of.
Yes.
Everything that's happening, you are not control of. You are just reacting to everything
Correct.
that's happening.
Correct.
So it's like, oh, this bill needs to be paid. Oh, here's my credit card. Let's just fucking use this.
And there's no extra cash coming in. You're actually losing cash, you're losing clients.
Yeah. And that was the scary part. But also during that time, I never ever thought that it would close. I always
Yes.
thought in my head, I can do this. I can turn it around.
Till the very last day.
Till the very last day. I always thought that I could.
That's one thing I envy about you. You've got that fuck you attitude.
Yeah, but it's also, I just don't care. I don't, not,
No,
that's
I'm
the
with you.
wrong
No,
word.
that's
but-
not. No. A lot of guys say that. They say, John, even with myself, I say, I don't care. I don't
care
I
what
don't-
other people's opinions of what
Yes.
I'm doing.
Yes. Whether you don't fail, I believe you learn.
Yeah, that's exactly.
So you've
That's
learned
100%.
something so young and you've lost everything so young, you now know what not to do.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
That's
No,
what
that's
makes
very damn true.
you know.
Yeah. Because during that time, like before the bad things were happening, I would go out from a Wednesday,
I know.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and every night in between, my mom would tell me, "Can you go fetch your dad at the pub?" Fuck.
It's a whole different lifestyle.
No, it was. It was a crazy time. I enjoyed it, like insanely, and I learned a lot during that time as well, in terms of connecting with people.
Yes.
But at the same time, during that time, I was insanely entitled. Like, I was arrogant. I was, oh,
We've all been there.
but I learned. Now, I'm a lot more cautious about things, which is a part that I don't like of it, because I've gone through all of that at a young age.
Yes.
I'm a lot more cautious to things now.
You're more aware.
Yeah.
I would say you're more aware.
Yeah, but it doesn't also still take away from, because even when I was younger, if the opportunity came, I would say yes and just figure it out afterwards.
Yeah, I'm still doing that.
No, I'm doing that with Rico right now. What do I know about tech? All that I know is the product that they have makes sense in my brain. It just makes business sense.
Yeah.
And basically, and that's what it comes down to. If something can make sense in my brain, I'm going to say yes, and I'm just going to then afterwards figure out, so how the hell am I actually going to sell this thing now?
Exactly. As long as no one can manipulate your way of thinking. And that is the main thing. Because you know, in sales, we're both in sales. So, sales is difficult. You actually got to, I'm contradicting myself now, but you actually got to manipulate the person to see your point of view and how this item can work.
But that's
for them.
exactly what I do now.
Exactly. And it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's,
So basically, from when I left the factory, I've been in finance, in financial services.
yes.
From financial advisor to what I do now as a senior advisor at a debt counseling company. So that what I
Isn't that ironic?
yeah, I know. I just thought
So
about it. I was like,
you can actually relate to his clients.
yeah.
So you can actually,
especially with business owners, because
Exactly.
we're getting a lot of business owners now
So you
that
can
are signing
now-
up. And it's literally, when they're telling me the story, I'm like, I literally stop them and I'm like, I've been through this.
I know
already.
exactly,
Don't need to explain
and that's how
it.
you get trust because you can emotionally relate to your client.
Yeah,
When most people that do this don't.
they have no clue. Like there's freaking 19-year-olds that work there as an advisor. So there's 24 advisors only. It's 24 advisors and about 80 or 90 lead like call center agents.
Yes.
So we're the people that actually advise the people on things when it comes to debts, when it comes to budgeting, when it
Correct.
comes to what's going to happen and all the 101 things.
Yes.
And then when I listen to some of the youngsters talking there, and I'm like,
I do the same, mate.
what are you doing?
I do the exact same.
You just stop and you're like, why? Why you are literally all you're doing is being a salesman now. But when it comes to debt counseling, it's actually you meant to help people.
But forget, you're also there. I'm
Oh, yeah.
also there.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure there's so many guys that looked at us like, what the fuck?
Yeah, probably.
I can relate to a lot of guys. You know. So, what is life like now compared to what it was?
A lot more relaxed.
Do you feel that with having less?
It's easier. So basically, even
I like that because I can relate to that.
but even so, when all the things were going down,
Yes.
I was still doing fine in my own job. I was still making money. Everything was great there.
But
Because
your
when it
parents
comes
are
to being a financial advisor, is if you're mainly basing your whole clientele on investments, it means you're getting a percentage every single month.
Yes. Yes.
So I built up a book of clients. So,
Portfolio, eh?
yeah. So basically, even when I wasn't working, I was still getting paid, and I was happy. I had during that time, like it was basically things went down, and then I bought the ST a year later, and I was happy. I couldn't even though in terms personally things were falling apart, but work-wise it was still going well.
That emotionally.
Yeah. So basically, in terms of what was happening, family, what was happening here as well, it was a very difficult time for me. In my own mind,
Yes.
it was a very difficult time, and I did catch on things that I shouldn't have been doing, and I don't regret any of it. I learned a lot during that time, but then also I still had that old mentality as well, where I was like, I want to keep up now, go get the ST.
Yeah, I remember, I'll relate to you.
And it's literally things, I don't even remember with you when you got the BM.
Brother, that BM fucked me up. And that's why I brought you first in this episode because, guys, I can relate with Carl. When I was 27, and remember that time?
Yeah.
And then you called me up, I was going, no, it's going fine, it's going great, things were going great. And I had the second kid, my son. And I had to phone my wife one day due to an accident fund and basically tell her, listen, that's a whole other topic. We'll get into that with family, money, inheritance, road accident fund. It's, yeah. And I got told by the attorneys, look, you are getting fuck all, you're getting nothing. So I said to them, well, they worked it out during maintenance, they work it out on a
So on the scale of value.
Yes. So even though my father never paid maintenance, just my age was against me. Even though we did everything to get this thing into roll, spent the money, and we got snide out of it. But it's fine, and I'm glad that happened because that actually changed me. I phoned my wife, 27, and I said, listen, call your mom. We need a place to stay. She said, well, what do you mean? I said, we've lost everything. I just got told now, I'm not getting a cent. I owe them 36,000 Rand because they overpaid me apparently in the first payment. She said to me, okay, I'm calling her now. I have never thought of suicide of my life. Anymore. You know me, I'm an optimistic, I'm positive, I go for it. And when I got that news, I literally walked out of where I work, the shop, looked at the top of the building and I thought, I've got life cover, I've got this.
My family will be fine.
I'll be fine.
Yeah.
I thought of for a split second, climbing on there and jumping. And when I pulled myself together, I burst out in tears. Gee whiz. And like you said, once that happened, I saw who the real people are.
You see very quickly.
I had to get rid of the place I'm staying. I had to sell the BM. I was like R500,000 in debt. Bruno, I'm 27 and I don't even own a house. You want to talk about making mistakes?
Yeah. Oh.
And telling my wife to be fine, it'll be okay. And that was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I remember the best thing I had, it was the best thing.
Yeah, you can say it now.
Then I was like,
it's like back then it's like what the
how
hell's
embarrassing
going on?
is this? And
Yeah,
and
no,
that's what
it
you can,
is.
it's fucking
It
embarrassing.
is.
You've worked so hard, now you're like, oh, you're back with in-laws with 2 kids living in their room.
Mm.
And I was ashamed. And then I started renewing myself and I went through a process and we got back on our feet. We paid everything off. We stayed there for a while and we reset. And then it taught me to become a minimalist.
Yeah.
And I actually, well, I'll be open about it now. I actually became Buddhist. I don't know, most of you guys know. Or not Buddhist, following the Buddhism of
Following
life.
that
Yes,
way,
I had
yeah.
a breakdown at 30 and I just told her, this was the 3rd payment that came out. That's a mess. And we built up nicely with support of family. Support's very important. And that's where I renewed myself. I basically found who I am and what I'm about and became who I was as a young kid. And you know, like yourself, losing everything.
But also what helped with the mentality. So my mom's parents died at a very young age, so she's always been she is like the one that looks after everyone.
Yes.
She looked after her brothers and all that.
Yes.
And my dad also had a very chaotic young life growing up where he stayed with his gran instead. He didn't know his mom until he was like 20 something. All those kinds of things happened.
Correct.
And also when it comes to family, so what happened? So my dad went, fuck this, and we moved to Durbanville. My whole family lives Mitchell's Plain. Okay, there's my aunt now lives here in Goodwood, but
I'll wait, represent.
that's about it. Everyone lives like Mitchell's Plain, that side.
It was hard back then. Eh?
No, it was hard.
Apartheid.
And also,
I don't want to mention the word, but it was. It
but it
wasn't.
created something different where it was us against everything.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
me, my mom, my dad, my brother. We have each other's backs.
Correct.
Together we can get through
Anything.
anything. Doesn't matter what happens. And one of the best talks I had with my dad. So this was while we stayed at the flat. So the shop is like literally you walk out the gate, go up the road, make a right, and you're at Spar. So my dad walked to the shop and he went, bought things, and he came back, and I just walked up and met him by the gate, and we were walking back. So this is also because my mom also has a bit of health issues now. We're walking back, and my dad's like, Jesus, your mother pisses me the fuck off. But I meant every single damn word when I married her.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at him like, what?
Okay, I'm married 10 years. I relate to him. I won't lie.
But it's one of the best, like, you see, like, I have friends that got married, couple years later got divorced. I got 2 friends.
That's the in thing these days.
And
You
I'm
get it, in my
and then
opinion, divorce
on the other
is
end, I have my parents who go, oh no, we go through everything. It doesn't
Everything,
matter.
brother.
It doesn't matter. Money, what's that?
That's exactly.
A house, what's that? We can get another one.
Exactly.
As long as it's us, everything is fine.
It's the same with my wife and I. With Thelma. You know Thelma and I, you know we go way back. And we deal, I'm not an easy person to live with. You know me, I'm a stubborn, fucking, I don't give up. I don't give up. And I see that in you as well, you don't give up. I remember when we used to call each other and I was still staying in Livingston. I was going, and I never realized that it was that bad.
Yeah, but
I never realized.
it's my problem to deal with.
Yes.
I'm not going to put that on someone else. But then that's also something from my dad. When my dad is also, it's his problem to deal with. He's not going to take it out here to someone else and be like, oh, this is my problem.
Yes.
Sort of thing. And that's why, like, fuck, I should have been an actor. Because things can be absolutely falling apart.
No one's
Like
going to
the
know.
minute I walk out the door and I meet you, I got a smile on my face and I'm like, everything's good. But meanwhile, back at the Raj, it's not.
A lot of guys do that.
A lot.
A lot of guys do that. And I'm a very verbal person.
Yeah. See, I'm not.
Yeah. You know me, I'm a very, very verbal person. I have to get it out. That's what I have to express. That's why, you know.
Yeah, I'm not that. I've never been like that. I've never been someone that talks about problems a lot. Geez,
No, I know that.
Okay. No, I'm not someone that actually.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
So I'm not someone that actually talks about my problems a lot. I'm not someone that basically puts it out there. That's why you see, like, on my Facebook and all of that, it's a bunch of nonsense that I post.
That's fine.
It's never. You see, because I'm of my thinking is, why do I want you in my personal business? It's my personal business. If I'm doing well, that's for me.
That's also who you trust with that.
Yeah, but that's why I have my close friends around
Yes,
that I have around
also,
me.
venting is one thing, but you got to vent to the right person.
Yeah, yes. So, someone like Jared, so he also went through extremely rough stage. He lost both of his parents in the space of a year.
That's hectic, bro.
And it was crazy. Like, it was a crazy time.
They were close.
Yeah. And a lot of our friends were close with his parents.
Yes, I remember I saw playing pool there in 2007.
The World Cup.
2007
and all
World
of
Cup.
that.
You're old, bro.
Yeah. But and literally, while all of that was going down, every Friday I used to go to the workshop in Stikland, and I would sit there and talk to his dad.
He was very.
Oh, that guy!
Wise.
No, but yeah, he was wise, but he would tell you straight.
I
He
remember.
would tell you if you screw
If
him
he
up.
didn't like you, he didn't like you.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and his mom was the ultimate. Literally, his mom always used to call me and fluke me. She'll be like, "Stop being a puss, blah, blah, blah," when you're coming to bride.
That's exactly.
And I'm like, okay, Jesus.
No, but that's what it's about.
Yeah, it is, and that is like you don't expect those kinds of things. Like
Yes.
someone else's parents, like also Brendan's mom and his dad. There was a time when I was doing things that I should not have been doing, and I got in a bit of trouble.
What
And
were they? Mouse.
Eh?
What?
I was dabbling in a bit of things that I shouldn't have been. But literally, I was meant to call Craig to help me with something. And I called, and his dad picked up. And I was like, oh, this is what's going on, I need help. And the next minute, I was passed out in my car. No, it wasn't even my car. It was someone else's car I was passed out in. I just got a knock, and I looked. And there's Brendan's dad standing there. He's like, come, taking you home. I was like, oh, okay. At the moment, you don't think anything of it.
Yeah.
But now you think about it, you're like,
I imagine that was your
yes,
child.
yeah, I don't want my child to do things like that. I want him to call me and be like,
This is exactly why I'm doing this, because my kids can watch this. I mean, like, my dad's a hood, he's a clown, but at least, you know, we've all been there.
yeah, but during that time, I couldn't depend on my dad as well.
Yeah.
Because my
I know
dad
that feeling
was,
as well.
he was where he was.
Yeah.
Probably at some pub or wherever. So it isn't like I could be like, hi dad, I'm in trouble. But one of the things, like he also understood things. So like when I had my car accident, it was just, I ended up in a parking lot by Stones, and I was going down Durban Road, ended up in the parking lot at Stones.
We're not going to say anything that's going to get you convicted.
But literally, and I called my mom and I was like, because I had to. The cops are there, I can't do anything about this. I was pissed drunk, I was drunk, guys. Like, and I called her. My dad rocked up there. I don't know if he was out before the night as well, but he rocked up in my mom's car, cigarette in hand, laughing his ass off. And he's like, you learned your lesson. I'm like, yeah. He's like, cool. I got a tow truck coming, don't worry. And I was like, oh.
The operator.
No. My
No,
dad
operator.
operated.
They operate.
Oh.
Networking is so important, eh?
No, my dad is someone that's very sociable.
Yes, no, it is.
Very.
Very. Networking, connecting.
Like, especially in Paro.
Oh, wow.
Cops loved him in Paro.
Ah! You know what's funny? Remember, I was working in Paris, right? Running Nix.
Yeah.
I don't want to mention that fucking name. But anyway, that is a shithole.
Yeah.
Okay? No offense, family business, okay? And 11 cops got arrested. They were our clients. For everything that was wrong, bro. Prostitution. laundering money. I remember them clearly, and their all backs was facing the wall on the news. But I could point, okay, that's so. And I was still working in Sea Point. I left that time. No, I had to leave. My wife said to me, "You don't leave, I won't marry you."
Yeah.
You know Thelma,
My
right?
woman.
Yeah, no, she knows. I was, so I can relate to it.
Mm.
And it's amazing where we've come from to where we are.
Mm. It's
Hey?
very far from what we were before and the types of people that we were.
Yes. Our life has literally made us who we are today.
Mm.
Our experiences.
Yeah. And some have experienced
It's fucking
more
hard,
than
eh?
others. Like even in a group of friends, everyone has different experiences
Yes.
with things, and you can't judge
I know.
on those.
I know.
But then you see maybe someone that you know is going through this, and you're looking at them like, come on, really now?
I do it a lot. That's a very bad default
Yeah, it's
setting I
bad,
have.
it is bad.
I'm like,
and
you
I
know
know
yourself. Okay?
Mm.
There's worse things out there.
Yeah. But everyone's different at the end of the day.
I know.
Everyone deals differently with
I
situations
know.
at the end of the
Now, I'm
day.
most honest about it. Maybe it's my testosterone and my manhood. I'm like, I'll see you at 5 for a training session, motherfucker. Come on! You know me. Ice baths, Wim Hof.
Yeah, no, when you mentioned that Wim Hof, I was like, oh, here we go. I'm gonna see non-stop posts about Wim Hof. I'm gonna see this about it.
You know, it's a
Oh,
healthy
that's
mind.
no, it's a passion. You found a passion in something.
I found purpose. I found literally,
Exactly, and a lot of people are searching for that.
yes. And this is what this whole thing's about.
Mm.
Sharing. You coming here today and doing this is not easy. Because
Oh.
you're opening up yourself to everyone. What you've gone through. You've gone from everything to nothing. And you're coping with that at the moment. So you're like in the middle stage now.
Yeah,
So
pretty much.
you're looking after your folks, you're paying for everything.
I've recovered, like, I think, let's put it like this. My overdraft was at 50,000 before. And I've gotten it down, it's at 9,000 now.
Now, was that your own debt or?
Yeah, my own debt. That's just the overdraft. Not the loans, not the credit card. Credit cards paid off.
Was that to fix
Yeah.
or
Get through.
pay your dad's stuff and
Just to get,
so you took over that,
yeah. At the initial stage, I took over everything.
the responsibility.
Yeah.
That takes balls,
Because
right?
everyone, my mom, my brother, everyone was working for my dad.
That takes balls.
Yeah, but it's a means to end. I had to do it.
No, I don't think you had to. I think this is just my way. You chose to do it because you know that it's because of the greatest
This is
good.
yeah. So this is one of the conversations.
And that's character.
This is one of the conversations I had
That's-
with Jared's dad,
Character.
and it was a difficult one.
Yeah, I believe.
With because Jared's dad went through a lot. When I tell you that's a guy that went through a lot in terms of family and everything. So he's like, I'm gonna tell you something straight. Sometimes you just need to let go of your parents.
I have to agree with him there.
And I was like,
Mom,
no.
don't judge me.
But I told him, like, I can't do that. It's my parents. And he's like, take it from me. I'm doing this, and they're ungrateful. You are now but this was at the beginning stage.
Breaking away.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say.
but no, this was the time when my dad was still basically in recovery, so he was at home all the time. My mom was at home all the time. Because I think my mom had like 4 strokes in a year.
Okay, I'll take mine back. Mine
So-
wasn't as bad as that. I just got
So essentially, both of them were at home, and I'm going to work every day. But then I'm having to deal with. I was getting like it was a
Tiring.
weird time. It was just a weird
It's an
time.
emotional fuck up.
Oh yeah, no,
It's like a roller coaster. You never know what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
And it just keeps going.
No,
you don't
it
know
was-
if your mom going to get sick. You know, I still.
No, that was the that time was
You know, and
that was a
difficult.
messed up time.
So even for you, finding a relationship at that time.
No, it was what you see. That time it wasn't. In terms of that, it wasn't that bad because there was someone there,
Yes.
and she understood what was
Yes.
going on because I knew her from high school as well.
Okay.
And she understood what was going on, but at the same time, it's also she wasn't there as well. Like,
I'm with you.
but when it came to my parents, things were weird during that time. Seeing my dad at home all the time was weird because I went from
Mean machine.
when I was small to when I was in my 20s. My dad was first one at the house, last one back. That's how he is now to this day. He's the first one at the factory, last one to leave.
He hasn't given up.
He will go 3 days straight. Work 3 days straight if something needs to be done. And I'm like, you're 59 years old, what the hell?
I wish we had more people like that.
And he's like, it has to be done.
It has to be done.
And now at this stage, like in terms of why I say things are a lot easier now. So me and my dad have agreement. So when it comes to rent, he gives me X amount. I pay the bigger amount, but he'll give X amount. He's like there, and he'll buy food. So all I need to worry is pay my part of the rent and pay my bills. That's all I need to worry about at the end of the day now.
What's it like living in a smaller space with them?
There are times when I'm like, I just want my own space again. Because when we lived in Durbanville, basically that place was so big.
It's a mansion.
My brother stayed in basically like the maid's quarters, the flat, whatever. And I would be over here.
That's domestic.
My dad would be in the bar because he built this massive
I remember that bar, but that bar was...
Yeah, it was insane. That
with the
bar
pool
was
table.
insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pool table,
I
dartboard, massive bride. The freaking bar was as long as this garage.
I remember clearly.
Massive TV. He would be there. My mom would be at this part. And I remember my dad saying the only reason he bought that house was for the granny flat. So my gran could stay there. And I think my gran only stayed there for about a year or two. And she was like, fuck this, she's out. And she still stays in Durbanville now.
She's still alive. She
Rosehaven.
just thought she's out.
Yeah, she's still in Rosehaven. She loves it there. Loves it.
So you guys don't knock heads or...
No. I don't think in Durbanville, me and my dad used to fight. We used to fight like there was no tomorrow. There were points where my mom would literally just give me money and tell me to leave. I must go.
And now that you're in a more close environment?
Get along a lot easier.
Interesting, eh?
That's what I say. Having less is a lot less stressful.
I'm a big
A lot less. So it's yes, having less, but I don't think in terms of having less. Because I still have nice things. I've been able to buy nice things. But now it's still, I don't have to, like, at the old house we had 2 lounges, 2 of this, that, blah, blah. So it's always all over. And like my garage is literally a storeroom now of the old house. So we had this massive kitchen. There's boxes of kitchen things that have been in my garage for
It's
6
amazing,
years.
eh? It's honestly amazing. You actually see what you don't need.
Yeah, my brother moved. He stays here in what's opposite Grand West?
Right.
No man, not that side.
Don't say that. I got some followers from my... Love you guys.
No, but it's literally he moved. Thornton. Thank
Thornton.
you.
Even worse. Now I'm joking. Don't quote me.
Hey.
My father grew up in Thornton. That was a rough year.
Shame.
That was the railway. The white guys.
Yeah, but he moved to Thornton. Literally, all they did, they came to the garage. Like, okay, we'll take the large suite. We'll take this. His house is full. He couldn't be bothered. He didn't have to pay anything major.
Family look after family. Family look after family.
Yeah, that is.
And your mindset is slightly different than what it was. Like you mentioned
Yes.
the word entitled. Do you still feel entitled once you've gone through this process?
that beats it out. That beats it out.
The feeling of entitlement. I was also in that feeling of entitlement when I stayed with my folks. Like, here a history. My mom and dad divorced. Didn't have a very good relationship with him. And yeah, when she worked very hard. My stepdad, Peter, to get where they were.
Yeah.
They worked very hard. They've earned their way where they're now. And they still work hard. But I also, till the age of 18, it was very simple. I basically spoke to my mom and this and said I wasn't happy about this and this and this, and life is just so bad. I was a spoiled little brat. I was a spoiled little brat. I had some emotional issues or traumas that I had to deal with. But when I look back, I said to them, I want this and this and this done. She said, no, it's my house, my rules.
Yeah.
Then you decide you're going to stay, you're going to leave.
And you left.
You know me. September 2007. Not even 2 exams. They were bags and I fucking left.
I remember.
But I was the issue in a lot of the ways. I wasn't my own now.
Yeah.
So
life
changed.
Yeah, life changes. So in terms of mentality of things. So yes, I expected things as back then, but I was also a lot more. I would say back then, I would say I didn't give a F who you were. If you were a cleaner or if you're a CEO.
But you've always been like that.
So I would talk.
You treat them all the same.
Yeah.
You've always been like that.
So now I would always be
17 years.
It has been ages. So literally the perfect thing. So I was doing business finance at one stage in my life. And I went to literally called the big security company. And I called the CEO and I was like, this is what I'm doing. Blah, blah, blah. I hear you doing this, you need money. And literally I didn't care.
I like that, confidence.
Yeah, no, but that's how it was. And he's like, oh, okay. But then it comes down to, I didn't learn my lesson yet about things. So I was working for Momentum Consulting, but the franchise that I was with, the woman did business finance. So basically, all the deals on the business finance end, that was what the insurance company then covered, insured. So that is what I was doing. And then after a while, I got a bit of interest on, hey, what's this finance thing now? Because I'm doing the insurance thing and it's always, everything is going along business lines the whole time, everything. And I'm like, what's the business finance? And then she took me under her arm and was like, this is what it's about. And introduced me to big people. Like from Ibita fences she just introduced me to big people, very big bank people, all of that. So I said, okay, I know someone. And I called him. And you know him as well. Heck, he was your rugby coach.
Oh my word. Your altitude, your attitude, determines your altitude.
Yeah.
I will never forget those words in my life. Never. I actually use them in a lot of my
But I called him. And I was like, this is what, I got funds here. And now everything happens, this deal, and it's amazing. When I tell you it's
Didn't he have a
amazing.
guiding company?
No, he's always been security. Trolleys as well.
That's it. He did all the
ShopRite and all
yes.
Yeah. So that deal happens. I'm
Why
smiling.
did you mention his name?
Because I'm lit there.
Mr. Cronier.
No. Shaw.
Yes.
Pangela.
Now you're going back.
So now this deal is happening. When I tell you this is a massive deal. When I tell you it's a massive deal, I'm like, we bought another security company out.
How old were you?
I was probably 26, 27. So even at that stage, I haven't really learned my lesson.
You're just like cocky, entitled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I know, this deal is millions. When I tell you it's millions. And my commission was gonna be X amount %.
You just want to get excited.
So I'm like, here we
So go,
go.
brother, here we go.
Yeah. So now contracts get signed. Once a contract was signed, I was like, oh, here we go. Woo!
You're already spending money you don't
That
have.
That was exactly what's happening.
Yes. You're
But
like,
now,
yeah.
I didn't learn my lesson in terms of people. And
Sorry,
this
I'm not-
woman, Jesus, this
I can
woman.
just believe it, bro.
When that went down, I went through murder.
Wow, not quite, eh?
No, no.
Figuratively.
Yeah.
Figuratively.
Yeah. But literally, because she disappeared.
With everything.
Gone. And now I have a big security company fucking calling me going, hey, things need to be paid. What the fuck? You passed your date. And I'm like, I don't sign off on the money, but you need to call her. And literally they're like, we tried, we can't get hold of her. Then I have another security company that they got my number. They calling me busy threatening me. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And now that's where I learned in terms of people that I have to be careful.
Very aware.
Oh. And now that's the type of people. I call them cowboy businessmen. So they do something big and they're gone. Or they just fuck. They do something big and then the next thing they just fuck up and it all just implodes. And that was
How did you get out of the situation?
I joined NDA. Literally, when that was going down, I didn't apply for a job or nothing. I just think I updated my LinkedIn. I just put it on the setting where it says looking, where you open for work or whatever that setting is on LinkedIn. Next minute, I just got this call. There, we got your CV on LinkedIn, blah blah blah. Do you want to come for an interview?
You got lucky, eh?
With that, yeah. Then yes. Now, but during that, and literally it was, I'm like, this is what I want. This is, and I asked him about the commission, and I liked the commission, so I was like, cool. And I took it. I didn't know what the fuck the job was about. I think I was out with David the night before. I was still pissed when I went to the
I remember I went for this job interview, my first job. Decarbonizers. I can't remember the name. And I had my VFR, and I was so excited. Remember that little VFR one, eh? Yeah, that was good times, eh? And they phoned me up, and they got my CV. I was coming for an interview. Oh, fuck, I'm excited, eh? I do this whole week door-to-door salesman. You know?
That's a bunch of
Hi, John, you know, achter my kennis, en
Ja.
je weet, ons gaan nou fucking geld maken.
Ja.
And you know, the guy brought you up now to the interview and this, and after a week he's like, you've got the job, well done, you've got the job. We're going to pay you $4,500 a month with commission. I'm like, 4.5. Fucking making it a lot of money. I think to myself, now, this must get school fees. I think now, but back then it was different.
Yeah.
So they send us off to Tilbach. And we must go do sales. But bro, I walk door to door.
Nothing happens.
I get to this one lovely family, a colored family actually. The white people will chase me away. And I didn't even have tattoos in my bro. They're like, nah, yeah.
Say my name, fuck off.
Yeah, fuck off, yeah. Nee, ek wil nie hê nie. And the one says, nee, come on. Ek sê, lekker. They made me, I had supper with them. They had a golf, you know, I'm not generalizing, but it's golf. MK1. And he's like, I'm trying to sell him to decarbonizers. And so what he pays off, he doesn't have money, so. Eventually it didn't work out, so I leave. I was like, 9 o'clock at night, we've got to work, I don't know what time. And I get this one guy across me and I say, listen mate, I fucking can't do this. Let's resign and leave. Now with my inheritance, I had 3,200 left in my account. So I went back to the hotel, or the resort we were staying, and we signed resignations. And the guy said to me, well, I think his name was Kuni, could be Kuni, the Kombi, you know, Kuni the Kombi, typisch. He says to me, okay, well thanks guys, you have to evade your space because the company's paying for this.
No, you need to leave.
I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, no, you've resigned now, pack your stuff and leave.
Yeah.
I said, this motherfucker.
So you need to
fucking
fucking
go up. How the hell am I not my problem? You must operate. I don't wait, come with me, because I'm a shop. We're gonna go into the fucking. We're gonna go into the bush. I said, I've got a place to sleep, my bro. I'm tired. I said, listen, I've got this money. Let's go sleep in the bush. And we find this broken house, like with bricks, and we start lying there. Bro, I was 18, and we started getting sounds. So before the mountain running and adventures, and so kakbang of the dark before I achieved all my growth where I'm now. I said, no, my bro.
And you're like,
nah, bro, practice,
no.
So you know me, I'm a hustler, bro. I walk in, I negotiate. I say, my bro, kyk kom ons op. Security. Ek gaan vir jou gee, bro. Dis nou mooi vir my, né? A 150. Hy sê, maar nee, ek koop nou 'n kamer vir jou. Sy gets us into a room. Ek sê, hier's nog 'n R50. Okay. When you phone a taxi, dis meneer voor ek kom by 'n taxi. Ons vat vir jou treinstasie toe. Okay. Now I've got like $3,000 left. I said, my bro, sharp, we're going to the bar. We walk like 4Ks.
Oh, okay, another bar in Tilbach.
To the bar. I spend that $3,000 out. Fucked. We walk back at 3 o'clock. He phones us out later. Your taxi's here. We go off to Tilbach. We sit like this we sit like this. Like homeless people. No offense to you. Like, we stink. We broke. We end up being my mother-in-law. Ma! Ja, wat's fine. I resign. Waar's jy? I'm at West Coast. I'm at Goody Station. I come fetch you. Now, bro, that whole affair. I had nothing, eh? It was funny.
But that is weird. Like, we could get away with things like that.
You know, I just.
The things that we used to get away with was fucking nuts.
It's crazy, eh? We never had video and social media.
No, thank fuck.
And stuff. I think our mentality is slightly different, you know. I think now, like, from a young age, having 2 kids and lost everything, and And that's why I'm glad you're on the show, because you can relate, like watching. Now, it's basically you looking after your parents is almost harder than looking after kids. Because kids, at least you can discipline them.
No, you can't do. You can't say anything to your parents.
Yeah, you can't lie. I'm like, everything's fine, and it's not fine. They know, they're like, no, it's not fine. What are you gonna do about it?
Exactly.
Like, okay, we're in a situation. What's the plan B or plan A or plan C or what's the next step?
In terms of also like this situation now, I don't have that. In terms of home life, there isn't stress. I don't have stress.
So you're
at home.
saying once it's all gone, things are actually better.
Well, in this situation, yes. There is no stress because I'm able to pay my rent every month. I can buy electricity. My dad buys the food. I don't need to worry about that. I can go out whenever I want, but I don't anyway. But essentially, everything is a lot easier. Where I'm more anxious now is my work life. So I used to be a certain way in terms of how I used to work. I used to fucking hustle like there was no tomorrow. I couldn't. When now I'm a lot more cautious, and it's something that I don't like about myself, is that whole being cautious.
Would you say it's fear?
Yeah. Yeah. I would say it's fear. Because I have security now. I have security which I've never had before. I have this type of security which I've never had before. But it's also what I don't like. So I get salary. I get commission. My commission does all the time. So I can't plan anything that I want to do because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I'm going to make commission next month or not. So I'm anxious about things now. But I'm also fearful in the next step. Like, what happens if I take that wrong step again? What the fuck's going to happen? Where before, if I took a wrong step, I knew my parents was there.
Okay.
Where now, if I take a wrong step,
that's all on you.
That's on me.
That's all on you. That's all on you.
And that is where that difficult and the fight in here happens.
Yes.
Where I'm like, literally, I'll be like, fuck this place. But then I go and make fucking 15,000 in commission, and that gets added onto my salary and things, and I'm like, no, wait, that's good money. What the fuck? Don't be stupid, Carl. Don't be
It's
stupid.
an internal battle within yourself all the time over funds and money.
And mine is growth.
Because it's interesting what you said there. You said
Mine is growth.
You said that, you sometimes think like, fuck this place, but then you see that 15,000 commission coming, and you're like,
It's actually good
that's
money.
like a good money.
Yeah, but the ambition side of things. So where I am now, I won't move up. I won't move down.
Okay.
Because I'm registered with the regulator as a debt counselor, the company has to pay me X amount. Just is what it is. And then my commission. So before I didn't get that. When I became registered, they have to pay me now that amount. So I'm like, cool. That was a good step, but it's the only step that can actually happen.
So what's next?
Exactly. That's
what I'm excited about this podcast, because what's next? And that's why
what is next.
I
But I'm
said-
anxious.
No, it's fine. That's normal. Fear's good. Use fear as your drive. Trust me. Run up a mountain in the dark 13 times.
Yeah, that's not something that I want to do. Nah.
I'm a big believer in pushing the body to points.
Yes.
I am.
And pushing your mind.
Once you break the body, you actually start using the mind. When you're out that comfort zone, it's
But wouldn't you say
my
your
personal.
mind is the first hurdle?
Like you say, you're in control to the point with your mind, because your body's comfortable. Your body's that's happy. So
Yeah, but
you
you'll feel your body getting tired, and in your mind you'll be like, okay, my mind says that it needs to stop now.
you need to avoid that stop.
Yeah.
And that's where I use all that trauma and emotion from previous life.
Now, that's
to
what I
drive
like.
for fuel.
So before, in terms of work life, I used to enjoy putting myself in different situations. So I could go into a boardroom with a company that does 50 million turnover.
Because you know
every month.
you got that backup.
Because I wouldn't care. I'll be like, fuck, I can do this every day. Couldn't care. Now, if it be to call that, they'd be like, I'm gonna be like, I need to figure out time around work first, and I have to figure this out, and that is where I read a lot about like these guys that started successful businesses, where they say you just need to take the leap on it, and I'm like, no, that makes no sense. Because my brain, everything to me in my brain has to make sense. So everything that
I wish I was like that.
No, but that's how I am. Everything in my brain needs to make sense.
A lot of people are.
So now,
I'm
involved with Rico. I don't know fintech, but the system makes sense. So Rico has this thing. It's called Smart Staff, right? And it's a fintech smart HR solution. So
he's a salesman. I'm just saying that.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it makes sense because it saves the company money and it gives it more control during COVID. So with COVID is you can't have the finger scan.
That's another topic that I'm not getting
But
into.
you can't have those things.
Yes.
So
yes.
why not have those
that's,
things on a phone? Have everything on.
I don't want to lose more followers or gain more followers.
No, but it makes sense. So we're busy with a massive national company now, a massive retailer. And everything that's been done, it worked out that that Smart Staff is gonna save them 9 million a month.
Well, that's a good retailer.
Yeah. No.
It's not mentioning the name.
No.
They'll be in big
No,
trouble.
not allowed to. Well, I'm not allowed to. But essentially, it's gonna save it 9 million. So I say, okay, this thing makes sense. So why wouldn't other companies want to use it then? If this big retailer is going to
remember,
do
it's
it,
fear of change.
and remember, it's fintech. Everything with fintech's new.
Yeah, so it's about being comfortable. I think we've gone a little topic, but anyway. So it's about being comfortable.
Yeah, but I like uncomfortable situations.
Wait till you have the first Bilakabra training session. You're going to be very uncomfortable.
What's that? What's that? I remember us drinking at what is the one girl's house before rugby practice.
Chantal.
Yes.
Hey.
I go to rugby practice.
Hey, my wife's going to cut me out now.
And it just happened to be
when this thing goes live, she'll be like, what the? Who's Chantal?
Who's that?
Actually, she doesn't know that. Yeah,
No.
I think I was a bit of a hooligan. I like, you see, a lot of people that know me now, over the last 8 years or 4 or 5 years of the mountain, don't actually know me before.
Yeah.
Before. So they don't know like how actually.
The mad thing that you were before.
Yeah, you know. Yeah.
But that is true though.
Oh.
But that is most of my friends. My circle is people that I've known since high school.
Yes.
Most of them is people that I've known since high school.
And we've all changed, eh? We've become a lot.
Yeah, and all of us have changed, and all of us are still.
We're the same, but just more experienced.
And aware.
Yeah.
We're aware of things.
Yeah, my man. So,
Things are different.
we're just growing as we go, eh?
Hey, but at the end of the day, what else is there?
Yeah.
What else is there?
Just to be happy, bro.
Exactly.
And love
Do
life.
what makes you happy.
Hey, and fuck for it.
Yeah.
Conquer.
Yes. Fuck what people's opinions are.
You know, now you must have opinions. Stompy.
Mm.
Carl Isaacs, may I say. Bro, I appreciate it. Guys, thank you so much for listening and watching. This is Carl. We thought we'll share a little experience with you guys. And yeah, at the end of the day, be lekker, bro.
Be lekker.
And have a lekker one, eh? Thanks, bro. Fucking
That was
awesome.
legit.